And how are you enjoying the class so far? So today we are going to continue with the class as we have scheduled. And the class is still going to be on alternative dispute resolution. That's what we are considering for this month. Alternative dispute resolution. So I would like to welcome all of us for today's training. I want to appreciate you especially for taking time to connect for today's training as well. And we have finished about 2 units of module 1 already. Today we are going to go to module 1 unit 3. So I'd like to welcome all of you for today's training once again. In module 1, we're looking at the overview of alternative dispute resolution. We look at what alternative dispute resolution is all about and the various approaches we use to resolve conflict alternatively. We also look at the theories and the principles of ADR. That is another thing we'll be able to look at. So today we will be looking at something else. We will be looking at the types of ADR. Types of ADR. So this is what we're looking at today. So I would like to welcome all of us for today's training. And I believe that as you connect to be part of this training, you would do it to share for others to also see it and connect to also participate in the training. And if you join us, let us know where you're joining us from, your name, the place you are connecting from, that is your country, your location. Like if you're from Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, Abuja, Nigeria. If you are from Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, you understand? And if you are in Ethiopia, you let us know. If you are in Addis Ababa, you let us know that you are joining us from Addis Ababa. If you are in Ghana, let us know whether you are joining us from Kumasi or from Accra. You understand? If you are in Cameroon, let us know whether you are joining us from Yaoundé or you are joining us from other parts of Cameroon. Do you understand? So I would like to know. Okay, I can see Enso from Limbe, Cameroon. Thank you for joining us from Limbe, Cameroon. Thank you. And Oluwase, Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you very much. Diana Aje, thank you from Nigeria. Adlahi, thank you. Makodi, Nigeria. Dr. Abdullahi. We have Favor. Thank you also for joining us today. Lagos, Nigeria. We have Shelekan, Lagos. All right, thank you very much for taking time to be part of today's training. And today, like I say, I have announced the topic already. We are looking at the types of ADR. The types of ADR is what we are looking at today. And we are having Ambassador Dr. Okoli Sebastian. He's a member of the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management. And you are welcome, sir. It's a pleasure to have you join us today. All right. So, Graceway Integrated Lagos State, thank you for joining us. All right, so far so good. We have finished Unit 1, Unit 2 of Module 1. Today we are looking at Unit 3 of Module 1, and then we'll be done with Module 1 today. All right, I will be having some engagement towards the end of the month. So I'm thinking that we should be able to cover what we need to cover here before 28th of this month. Do you understand? Because the International Day of Peace from 16 thereabout, we'll be focusing on the International Day of Peace. Basically, although we'll still be doing our training, but after the International Day of Peace, I may be traveling. So I would like us to do all we can to finish what we need to cover before 28th, or at most 22nd, 23rd of this month. All right. So thank you very much for taking time to join us. What is the sound now? Is the sound clear now? Can you hear me well? If you can hear me clearly, let me know. Tabasi from Kenya, thank you. If you can hear me very well, loud and clear, let me know so that I'll proceed. Facebook people, can you hear me clear? YouTube people, can you hear me? All right, the YouTube people have agreed with me that they can hear me. I'm waiting for Facebook people. Can you hear me? All right. So today, like I said, we're going to look at the types of ADR. All right. We're going to look at the types of ADR. And of course, we will also try as much as possible to explain all the ADR and their processes and all of that. Do you understand? So these are the things that we're going to consider here today. So, but if I may ask, what are the types of ADR? Based on what we have discussed so far, maybe you can have an idea of what ADR is and the types of ADR. Types of ADR. Can someone assist us with types of ADR? Types of ADR. If you can help us with types of ADR, just mention one type of ADR that you know. ADR. ADR. So can someone tell us one type of ADR you know? Just one type of ADR you know. Just one type. Yes, I can see Abdullahi say negotiation. Abdullahi say negotiation, that's good. Someone else says, Fred say dialogue. All right. Negotiation, that's good. Negotiation, agreed. Dialogue, agreed. All right. Any other person? Types of negotiation, mediation. Fred say mediation again, that's good. Agreed. Okay. Khadija also say mediation. Thank you very much. Another one. Any other one? Somebody say conciliation, negotiation. All right, that's good. That's Ojo. Adolahi. All right. Arbitration. James Olugbomi. Olugbohimi. He say arbitration. That's good. All right. So you people have mentioned some of the ones that we're going to cover this training. All right. So you have mentioned some of the ones that we're going to cover in today's training. We may not be able to cover all of them, but we have selected some of them to discuss with us here today. So we are going to discuss some types of ADR. All right. And one of those types of ADR that we're going to discuss here is mediation. Is what? Mediation. Mediation. So we are going to look at the process, the rules of the mediator, benefits, and the challenges of mediation. This is what we're going to consider under mediation. All right, we have agreed already that mediation is one type of ADR. And so we're going to consider what mediation is all about, the process of mediation, the role of the mediator, the benefits of using this type of ADR, and the challenges confronting mediation as an alternative measure to resolve disputes. All right, so these are the things that we're going to consider here today. All right, so one we say that, okay, mediation is one of the types of ADR. So, and we all agreed that mediation is the involvement of a third party in facilitating, a neutral third party known as the mediator, in facilitating communication and negotiation between disputing parties to help them reach what? A mutually acceptable solution. Do you understand? So we agree here that ADR is an alternative way of resolving dispute, not necessarily going to court. That's one thing we have established here. And we also say that mediation is a third party, a neutral third party involvement, whereby that mediator or the third party facilitate communication between the disputing parties to help them to achieve what? To reach a mutually acceptable solution. All right, so whenever you are helping people who are in dispute to resolve their differences, what you are simply doing is that you are facilitating communication and negotiation to enable them resolve their problems amicably. You may not necessarily suggest any form of solutions to them, but you guide them in discussing their problems so that they will not go off point, so that they will not become confrontational in trying to resolve their own problem, so that they will not be using abusive language to resolve their problems. Do you understand? That is the essence of a mediator. A mediator mediates, even regulates the language of communication when it comes to negotiation and trying to resolve disputes. Do you understand? So the essence of a mediator is to make sure that the parties involved control their impulses, control their anger, control their anxieties, control their they reduce the tension in terms of communication to make sure that the parties involved communicate effectively and settle their problems amicably. Well, that's the essence of having a mediator, to mediate in any form of conflict. Do you understand? So that's what we say. They facilitate the guide so that you cannot be shouting. There are some people that if they are angry, they will be shouting and shouting to a point that you cannot even hear what they want to say. Do you understand? They will be speaking out of anger. The job of a mediator is to reduce that tension, to relieve the stress that is always associated with conflict, to make sure that the parties involved are able to communicate effectively and efficiently to resolve their own problem. Do you understand? That is the essence of having a mediator. All right, so what are the processes when you want to engage the services of a mediator? What processes are you going to use? What are the processes that you are going to pass through to conduct a successful mediation? What are the processes that you're going to pass through to conduct a successful mediation? Please, if you join us, do well to share this live with someone. Put it on your wall. Let other people see what is happening here so that they can also participate. And apart from that, you can also comment and paraphrase what I'm saying here so that I will know that you are following me. The only way I would know that you are following me is when you paraphrase what I'm saying here. You understand? So by paraphrasing what I'm saying, It will help me to understand that you are following me. And in case you are lost, maybe you should call my attention to the comment section that you cannot hear me or you did not hear this part of the lesson, so that I can just come over it again. All right. So we're looking at the mediation processes. The process that you pass through to conduct a successful mediation is what we are looking at. And one of those processes is preparation. All right. You need to prepare. Preparation. You need to prepare adequately for you to be able to, conduct a mediation session successfully. When it comes to mediating, when it comes to preparation, what are the things that we expect you to do as a mediator? The first thing you are going to do is to initiate a meeting or have meetings with the disputing parties. Do you understand? So first and foremost, you're going to meet with the disputing parties separately. Do you understand? Yeah, you're going to meet with the disputing parties separately, all right, to understand their perspective. That's why you are meeting them separately, to understand their perspectives, interests, and goal. All right. In this issue, what are you looking at? What are you trying to achieve? What is your concern? What is your expectation? Do you understand? So you meet them individually. In mediation, the proper language, we call it caucusing. Do you understand? Caucus. Do you understand? When we say we are caucusing, what that simply means is that you are meeting the individuals separately to understand their perspective before bringing them together in a central place to discuss their issue. You might have understood all their differences and what is their expectations, and now it will be easy for you to engage both of them together. Do you understand? So that's why you must do caucusing. That's the initial meeting, all right? Initial meetings, and is one of the preparation part of the process of preparation. Do you understand? The second aspect is the second aspect in terms of preparation is the ground rules. Ground rules. You must set ground rules so that all the parties must respect those rules when engaging in the negotiation process, in the communication. All the parties involved must obey the rules of engagement. So before the spelling of caucusing, somebody is asking whether the spelling is correct. Mr. Sunday, that's not the spelling of caucusing. Caucusing is CAUSIO, CAUSIN, caucusing. Do you understand? That's the spelling. I think that is the correct spelling. That is not Colin, that's not caucus. Like when we say you have a caucus meeting, do you understand? Like in politics, they talk about caucus. Do you understand? Who are the maybe stakeholders? But here it's not like that. The caucusing is a somebody has written it here. Karen has written it here. CAUCUSING, caucusing. That's it. So that is it. All right. Thank you very much, Japheth. That is it. That's the spelling of caucusing. All right. So you engage the parties in dispute separately, and then to understand their perspectives. All right. And then you can understand their interests and the goal, what they intend to achieve in this engagement. Do you understand? Or what they want to achieve at the end of the day in this issue. So that is caucusing. And then you talk about ground rules. You have to set ground rules as a mediator. You have to establish those ground rules for the mediation session to ensure respectful communication. Because like I say, in conflict situation, the tension is always high. Do you understand? the impulses may burst out. Do you understand? People can get angry easily. They will get provoked. Do you understand? So you have to set the ground rules so that nobody, will go beyond their borders. Do you understand? And one of those ground rules is that you don't interrupt someone when they are communicating. No matter you how painful you feel by someone's statement, you still have to wait. When the person is done communicating, then the room will be open for you to communicate as well. Do you understand? And when you are communicating, another thing is that you have to ensure that there is high level of respect to all the parties. So you cannot come and be insulting anybody here. Do you understand? It doesn't matter how angry you are. You have to maintain a language of respect. Do you understand? You must respect each person's dignity. Do you understand? So those rules must be set, and all the parties must agree with those rules and must be willing to abide by the rules set by the mediator. Do you understand? So whenever a party is trying to steer off the ground rules set, then you call the attention back. Sir, withdraw that statement. Please apologize because you have gone against the ground rule we have set. Do you understand? So in case someone maybe say something that is ugly, you will say, no. You have to retrieve that word. Do you understand? Because you have gone against the ground rules. So you have to set the ground rules, and all the parties must agree with the rules and must be willing to abide by the rules set by the mediator. These are the part of the preparation process that you are going to do before you go into a proper mediation session. Do you understand? We talk about preparation. That's one of the processes of mediation. And we say that under preparation, the two things that you need to do: have an initial meeting with the parties separately. Secondly, you should also, set the ground rules. Let there be ground rules for all the parties to obey and honor in when the process commences. Do you understand? So this is it. The next process is the opening session. All right. You people should pay attention here. All right. I want to let you know that you need to pay attention in this place, because I'm going to give you the manual at the maybe after the first week of the training, but pay attention in what we're trying to do here, because some of the questions I'm going to ask you in your simulation, that's the practical aspect of this training simulation. You are going to follow these steps. Some of them are going to be under mediation. Do you understand? So you're going to group yourself, all right? Disputing parties, mediating team. Do you understand? So you must follow this process that we're discussing here to practicalize what we are talking about. Otherwise, we will not agree. Do you understand? So we will not agree. Okay? So, opening session. In the opening session, what are you going to do? In the opening session, you are going to, first and foremost, when you come together for the negotiation process, you are going to introduce yourself. All right, introduce yourself as a mediator. And in the introduction, you can tell us your mediation success, all right, your story, your achievement, all right. You can tell us your qualification. Okay, I'm Ambassador Ambassador Tahule Joshua. Okay, I have the successful negotiation engagement in the past. So far, so good. I have negotiated about 10 cases, and I was able to help the parties involved to come up with acceptable solutions for their situations. And since then, they have been living peacefully without issues and all of that. And I was also able to help them to make sure that they maintain their relationship and all of that. So you tell us your pedigrees, all right, so that we know who we are interacting with. Do you understand? Tell us your credentials. Let's know you. Let the parties know your history and your achievement so that they will have confidence in the negotiation process, in the mediation process. All right, it will help them to have confidence in the mediation process if they know that you are capable of, doing what you are just about to do now. So introduce yourself and also allow the parties involved to introduce themselves, all right, in the negotiation. And part of the introduction, you also re-emphasize some of those rules that have been defined. Do you understand? So that they will know what is expected of them, all right? Then statements. Each party has the opportunity to present their view of the dispute without interruption. You can recall that one of the ground rules is that you will not interrupt someone when the person is speaking. All right. So now, you once you introduce yourself, then you give party A opportunity to speak, and while party A is speaking, party B remains silent and listen. One of the things that is required in mediation process is listening, attentive listening. In most cases, people in conflict, they talk too much. They talk more than they listen. All right. Whenever you have a situation that you are willing to resolve it, pay attention, listen first. Don't talk. Don't be quick to talk. Be quick to listen. In our pre-induction training, we used to talk about the issue of body language. I think we did mention it as we are discussing this. You have to look out for body language. It's not what the person that is saying that really count. All right. There are certain things that the person is saying, but not through the words of the mouth. The person is saying it through his or her actions. Do you understand? So it's left for you to be able to detect what the person is saying through the eyes, through the nose, through the mouth, through the tone of the voice, through whatever. Do you understand? Gestures, postures. Do you understand? So it's left for you to pay attention so that you'll be able to understand this. All right. So that's what we're talking about here. So statements. So you allow parties to make their own statements. Do you understand? Say your own concern. Another person also say his or her concern. Turn after turn. Do you understand? And then you continue like that. I hope we are making sense. So far so good. We have talked about the two processes that mediation must pass through. First and foremost, we talk about preparation. Secondly, we talk about opening session. All right, let's look at the next process is joint discussion. All right, joint discussions. All right, you are going to facilitate dialogue here. That's what we call facilitated dialogue. Do you understand? So the mediator encourages open communication between the parties, helping them clarify issues and interests. Like I told you before, I said dialogue is conversation. So in negotiation, in mediation process, we expect the parties to dialogue. Do you understand? Dialogue simply means conversation. Let's converse. All right. Like, okay, just what is your concern? Just say your issue. All right, I say my issue. All right, and then you also maybe say your own point, and then you are trying to converse, but maybe you misunderstood my intention. What I'm trying to achieve here is not that I'm not undermining you as my wife or as my husband, but I'm trying to see how best we can build our relationship in such a way that is mutual respect. You are conversing. Do you understand? So you are just, but it's dialogue. It is helping you to deeply understand your issues, your problems, and the position. Now, each party. Do you understand? That's what we're talking about here. So converse, and in conversation, you don't get angry. You don't get paranoid and annoyed. You just have to pay attention and discuss with respect. All right? Discuss with humility. Do you understand? There's no reason for being so arrogant. I am the husband of the house. Whatever decision I take is this final. No, sir, you don't need to announce that you are the husband and the head of the family. We know. You are all of that, we know. By creation, we know that you are the head. You don't need to announce it. But when you also get married, they say that you have found a soulmate. Now you have found a soulmate, so you become equal. Now, but you still maintain your leadership. Do you understand? But in your leadership, try as much as possible to be understanding. Do you understand? So it's not a matter of showing arrogance. Or it's not a matter of you showing, okay, I'm the wife, I'm the woman of the house, and so I can do whatever I want to do. Or I also have a place in this house. I can take my own decision, or I can do whatever I want to do. All right? It may not be so. Do you understand? So that's what we're talking about here. So joint discussion, one aspect of joint discussion we're talking about is what? Facilitated dialogue. So as a mediator, you must facilitate this conversation. The parties must discuss as if it is they are joking. Do you understand? Let it be very smooth. Let it not be tensed up. All right? Reduce the tension, dust the tension. All right? Identifying interest. As the mediator, you help the parties identify their underlying interests rather than just their positions. They are angry. They are saying a lot of things. Maybe, for instance, now, maybe business partners, they disagree on a particular matter. They are angry and everybody is showing some level of disappointment. But nobody is willing to separate as business partners. Do you understand? They still want to maintain and continue with their business. So it's left for you to be able to identify that as a mediator and help them to understand that, oh, from this conversation, from what I have heard so far, it seems to me that people enjoy working together. Do you understand? That is the truth. And because from your conversations, like people enjoy working together, and I believe that based on your conversation, you are not willing to, lose each other. You want to continue as business partners. Do you understand? And so that is underlying interest. They may not say it clearly, but by their discussion, nobody is saying that, oh, let's break this relationship. Let's end it here. Do you understand? You are just expressing your disappointment, but you have not suggested or said something that intended to suggest that you don't want to continue with the business relationship anymore. You still want to continue, but you are expressing your disappointment. Do you understand? So in this kind of situation, as a mediator, you should be able to detect the underlying interest and help the parties to also recognize their underlying interest and work towards it. Because at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. It's not what they are saying, that it's not the disappointment. Disappointment is their position. But what is guiding them the most is what is underlying, the underlying interest. All right? So I hope you are understanding me. So we have talked about preparation, talk about opening session, we talk about joint discussion. Are we making sense? Are we making progress? These are the process of mediation. If you join us, do way to share this link with others, like, comments, paraphrase, let me know that you are following me. You people on YouTube, I'm not seeing your comment section. You are just there. You are not saying whether I don't know whether you are following up or you are not following. I'm just saying hello. I'm saying hello. You say hello that you are hearing me. talk about. Please, you people should contribute. Let me know what you understand. Do you understand? Are you understanding me? Paraphrase it. Let me hear it, see it. I'm seeing it on Facebook. Right? People on Facebook are paraphrasing and are commenting. I'm seeing their comments here. So I want to know that people on YouTube are also following and are also enjoying the training. All right. So let's move forward. All right. Let's move forward. The third process or the fourth process is private caucusing. All right. We still come to the matter again. Private caucusing. You start with that. You are still going to use it again. All right. Private caucuses. Separate meetings. The mediator may meet with each party privately to explore their concerns and possible solutions without the other party present. That is, in the process of conversation, in the process of mediation, it is possible that you may still engage the parties privately. Maybe they are raising some concerns, or maybe they are stuck in the conversation process and you want to help them to break through. You may decide to engage them individually to maybe ask them private questions or what they can be able to sacrifice or what they can be able to let go for the discussions to continue. And when you engage them privately, they may, try to give some reasons or some considerations or some conditions for things to work. Like the senior man is giving PDP conditions for the national convention to happen. Do you understand? Also, there may be some conditions that one may want to give. And so you may decide to take them individually and hear their perspective individually. You may get something to come and, help them come up with a solution. Do you understand? So, private caucuses. Then, confidentiality. So, information shared in caucus is typically kept confidential unless the party agrees to share it. Do you understand? So, whatever you you discuss in a caucus meeting is for your own personal consumption as the mediator. It's going to help you to still facilitate the process better. It's still going to help you to elicit responses from the parties so that they can adjust their position. Do you understand? There are some it will help you in your interrogation or investigation, all right, or in the questioning process, so that it will elicit conversation, so that it will elicit them or influence them to change their position. Do you understand? So you may not openly say that, okay, party B say this is this, or party A say this is that, but by your questioning, you will try to still push them to come out of the shade and say something. Do you understand? Or, better still, you can ask them when they are making their concerns, can I bring this in the open? If the person agrees, why not? If the other party also agree, why not? Do you understand? So you can still bring it in the open and both of them will discuss and agree. Do you understand? So we have discussed 4 processes of mediation. We say preparation. We say opening session. We talk about joint discussion. And we talk about private caucuses. Now, we are looking at negotiation. All right? We are looking at negotiation. We are looking at negotiation. All right? So I hope you are not confused that we are talking about negotiation here, man. I hope we are not confused that we are talking about negotiation as part of mediation process, right? Because what you are doing in mediation, it has to do with negotiation as well. The parties must negotiate and arrive at an issue. Do you understand? An agreement. So generating options generating options. All right, generating options. Edent Zabara from Lusaka, Zambia. Thank you. So, generating options. So, if we're generating options, that is to say that you are trying to brainstorm to come up with different alternatives. And I told you that in negotiation, you don't go to a negotiation table with one solution. You must have option A, option B, all right, and option C. If A did not work, B did not work, C must work. Do you understand? So you come into the negotiation table with alternatives. And yet I gave you a word for that. We call it partner. Do you understand? Best alternative. Do you understand? So you must come out, you must come with, a best alternative solution. In case the one that you prefer did not work, B may work. Do you understand? The best option must work. So come into the negotiation table with alternatives. With what? Alternative. You must do that. Problem solving. The focus of negotiation is to solve problems. All right. So the parties involved must collaborate heavily. They must collaborate heavily, solve their own problems. Do you understand? They must discuss with, with cooperation, with total cooperation to solve their own problem. It's not just it's not a kind of adversarial negotiation. It's not a kind of, we are looking at a win-win situation here. We are not looking at a situation whereby you are looking at a distributive negotiation. That's not what we're talking about here. We are talking about integrative bargaining. All right. I hope you are not forgetting integrative bargaining and not distributive bargaining. All right, these are aspects of negotiation, right? And we say one guarantees a win-win situation, and the other one, it is the winner wins or you are trying to win more against the other party. Do you understand? That's distributive. Someone is asking me, what is the best option called in technical terms? Technical terms. I say partner. It's an abbreviation, partner. You can check BAT. I have forgotten the full meaning. Partner. All right, but it's BATNA. Partner. Best alternative. Waiting. I've forgotten the full meaning, but that's it. So you can put it that way. Best alternative. Do you understand? All right. Closure. The next process is closure. Agreement. Part of the closing process is to reach an agreement. If the parties reach a consensus, the mediator may help draft a written agreement outlining the terms. Yes, partner, yeah. You understand? All right. So part of the closing process is that you, the mediator, if the parties reach agreement or reach some form of understanding, you are going to draft it in written so that it will be there in written, so that tomorrow it will serve as a point of reference. Do you understand? For the parties to understand that this is what they agreed, and we are expecting them to, or you are expecting them to respect that, do you understand, to respect their agreement. Yes, Prince Tampa, that is it. Just go and check the full meaning of partner. It will help you to understand it better. Do you understand? So that's it. So, and then you're going to follow up. Part of the closing process is also what the mediator, as a mediator, you will follow up the session to ensure compliance and address any future issues. Do you understand? So that's why it is. So part of the closing process, as a mediator, you draft what agreement based on what the parties themselves agreed. And then the essence of the agreement is for the implementation. So as you give them time to implement what they have agreed on, you are going to do a follow-up to make sure that they have obey and implement what they have agreed upon. If there are changes, if there are deviations, right, you have to remind them, and you also show them the agreement that this is what people agreed on, and you are expecting them to obey the agreement and solve their problems. Do you understand? So it's very, very important. Are we getting it? So that's why it is. So the processes, all right, that's it. Best alternative to the negotiation agreement. Partner. Best alternative to the negotiation agreement. That's it. Prince Tampa, I think you have seen it, because Japheth has gotten the full meaning of partner. So we have seen it. Best alternative to negotiation agreement. So it's a good one. So my question is, somebody's asking a question, that is Akpan Sibunk Monday, saying, so my question is, what if the reporter and the offender agree to let go the case and the office in charge refuse and insist that the case be taken to the court? What happened? You didn't give me a background of what you are talking about, Mr. Akpan. What kind of case are you talking about here? Yeah, I need to get a background of what you are trying to say, because you are saying if the reporter, I need to have a background of what you are trying to say before I would know the best answer to give you, Mr. Akpan. You are saying that, so my question is, what if the reporter and the offender agree to let go the case and the office in charge refuse and insist that the case be taken to court? What happened? Since I don't have the background of the case, let me just respond this way. If the issue has to do with office, maybe someone committed an offense and somebody reported the matter and it got to the management ears, then it's no longer their own problem alone. It's there's a third party in this case as well. Do you understand? An interested party in the matter. Now, and this is a corporate member now. It's not an individual member. Do you understand? So if the management is interested in the matter and the management say the matter should go to court, even though you, the offender, is willing to forgive the reporter, and the reporter is also willing to just forget about the matter, but the management is still interested in the matter because maybe it involves the organization and it's something that may affect the organization, then the organization may decide otherwise. So in that case, there's nothing to do about it. So I'm just trying to assume that is what you are trying to say. Do you understand? So if that's the case and you have an interested third party in the matter, and the third party wants the situation otherwise because maybe it's affecting the third party, and the third party is not willing to resolve the issue literally or likely because maybe it will affect the organization in the long run, so they can decide otherwise. Do you understand? So I don't know whether I answer your question, because I really did not I don't have a background of the situation, so I don't know what you're trying to say. Okay, Ruth Samuel is saying something here on YouTube. She's saying, so if the reporter agreed to let go and the offender is saying no, or when I say no, are you asking me, or you're talking about, okay, let's say land dispute case? Oh, the issue, people are complicating the matter. Ruth, are you asking me a question or you are trying to say something? Thank you very much. I'll wait to hear from you. Can you share the notes in the WhatsApp? Yes, we'll share the notes after 1 week of the training. Thank you very much. All right, let's look at the role of the mediator. Now, as a mediator, what is your role in the mediation process? So let's look at the role of a mediator in a mediation process. As a mediator, let's look at your role in the mediation process. The role of the mediator is one, neutral. You serve as a neutral facilitator. You serve as what? A neutral facilitator. On no account, on no account are you expected to take side. As a facilitator, on no account are you expected to take side. You must maintain neutrality throughout the process. That's number one role that you have to play. You must be impartial in the engagement process. Number two role of the mediator is you serve as an encourager of what? Dialogue. You encourage dialogue. You encourage what? Dialogue. You encourage dialogue. All right, someone is asking a question here. So let's take the question, because this kind of question may help us to understand what we're talking about better here, right? So let's look at it. Jeff Sunday is asking a question. He says, sir, unlike a vehicle hit someone's vehicle, and police come to take both to the office, and after getting to the police office, and both agree together to let the matter go and set the case after the station, and sometime police will say no, you can't go you can't go out and settle the issue as far as you are here in the station. All right, I know. Well, that is why we want to have, I think there's a unit in the police, I think there's a unit in the Nigerian police force now that has to deal with mediation. I think one of the police officers was inducted in Abuja last month, and I think they have a unit like that in the police force now. So if a matter goes to the station and it's being taken to if it's not a criminal issue, all right, if it's not a criminal issue and it's being taken to the mediation session, and if the parties agree to resolve the matter out of the station, they can, I think there's no crime, they can be allowed to go ahead and resolve their problem. But if the police feel that they can still mediate the matter and settle it in the station, let it be settled there. So far as it's not going to be taken to court, just that the police will serve as a third party to mediate, there's no issue. Do you understand? If they still want to do it, they want to do it. Except in a situation whereby maybe they are trying to exploit. In most cases, when the police are refusing to allow that to happen, maybe they are trying to look for something. Otherwise, there's no issue. If the parties that had issues and the road accident, let's say, and then maybe agree that, okay, let's resolve our issue out of the police station. So there's no issue, there's no crime. They should just go ahead and resolve their own problem. But if the police decide to be a third party in that situation to mediate without seeking for any any form of appreciation whatsoever, then why not allow them to help you to resolve your problem? I think you understand. So that is it. All right. Somebody is asking questions. There are questions. I love the questions I'm seeing here because it will help you to understand if you want to practice as a mediator. Do you understand? You want to practice as a mediator. It will help you. Prince Tamba is asking, so what are the parameters put in place to determine the cost of your services as a mediator? Secondly, is payment made independently or collectively, both parties? Well, like we say, mediation basically is voluntary. And most people offer this service not necessarily for a pay. Because people come to you to help them solve their problem because they trust you. All right? And they believe that you have the experience to help them solve their problem. So mediation may not necessarily attract any fee. The only one that may attract, or the ones that may attract fee, may be negotiation and arbitration. If you are negotiating a business for someone, then you should get some gain at the end of the day. So if you can ask somebody, if I'm able to negotiate this thing successfully, you're going to give me a certain percent. Do you understand? Get a percent out of it. That's it. But when it comes to mediation, mediation is quite voluntary, both on the side of the mediator and the parties involved. Do you understand? Except otherwise, maybe you are a consultant and they are coming to you. If you are a consultant and the parties come to you to look for your services, that's a different case. But if they come to you as someone they know and they let, maybe in terms of maybe community association or in the church or in the mosques, and they come for your help, in this situation, you may not charge them anything. But if you are coming in as a consultant, all right, and they are seeking your services as a consultant, then you can tell them how much they will pay your services. Although in other places the payment is per hour, so, and it's not expensive. Do you understand? It's not expensive. It shouldn't be expensive because one, you are rendering community services. Do you understand? And as for the peace ambassadors, if you are a peace ambassador, note one thing that you must put in the forefront is not how much you are going to get, but how you are going to help families to live peacefully. Because we are working towards achieving a global peace agenda. And so even if you are doing that and you are to charge, let your charges be very, 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 very small. Very, very, very low. Do you understand? That's it. I think that makes sense. Okay, let's go forward. If I say I'll take all your questions, we will not go forward again. So let us go forward, all right? Let's move forward. Maybe with time, I'll still take your questions. But maybe you can jot your questions and keep it somewhere. When I give room for questions, then you can ask your questions. Then from there, we discuss them. But for now, let's not take too many questions and then forget the training. All right. All right, hence somebody is giving us a practical experience, or let me say, giving us a testimony. All right, giving us a testimony. He's a police officer, so he's saying it so that we understand. He said that there is an ADR unit in the police. All right, he says such issues or dispute will be referred to. If police insists, there will be proper documentation or documented agreement from both parties in dispute for a record purpose in the force. So that's what Ambassador Dominic Ayo is saying. He's an ambassador. So I believe with him and I agree with him totally. Do you understand? I believe in him and I agree with him totally. So that's what he's saying. So I think there's a unit in the police like that. And I really appreciate the Nigerian police for introducing that, so that it's not every issue that must go to court. Some of the issues should be taken to ADR and be trashed out. They should not even pass. Some should not even got into the police cells. Do you understand? There's no need at all. Okay, Mr. Tamba. Okay, so that's why you are a licensed mediator and negotiator. Like in the institute, our license is licensed mediator and negotiator. Do you understand? Because we know that these two can go hand in hand. So if you are licensed as a mediator and a negotiator, your services can be voluntary and it can be paid. Do you understand? So let's see how you can balance both. Thank you very much. All right. So but that's that. So let's progress. Let's progress. Thank you very much. If you have any other issue, we'll see that many questions are coming up. Someone is asking, peculiar, you're asking, is there any special way the offender can be persuaded to dialogue in case he or she refuses? Of course, there must be a way. Sometimes people may refuse simply because the tension is still high. Do you understand? When things happen, sometimes the tension may be high. So one of the things that you need to do as a peace ambassador, in every situation you find yourself, you must first and foremost reduce the tension in the conflicting situation. All right, reduce the stress. We call it the stress. All right, one of the skills that we expect peace ambassadors to possess is that the ability to reduce or to relieve stress, or that's the tension in conflict. So if the tension is high and someone is not willing to cooperate, you have to give it a time. All right, give it a time. When the tension is reduced, you cannot engage the parties and they will cooperate. Do you understand? They will dialogue. There's no issue. So timing also is very important. All right. When we're talking about conflict, okay, it's not in our pre-induction training, we're talking about conflict analysis. All right. So conflict analysis has processes. Do you understand? And we'll talk about timing as well. Timing is very, very important. If we engage the parties and the timing is wrong, you may not be able to achieve anything much. Do you understand? So timing is very, very important. If the tension is high, just wait a bit. Let the tension reduce. You can engage them and then you get the result. Do you understand? That's it. So so we have talked about two roles of a mediator. We say that as a mediator, you must serve as a neutral mediator or facilitator. Or another role is that you must be encourager of dialogue. That's, you must encourage what? Dialogue. You must also be a problem solver. You must be a problem what? Solver. You must solve problems as a mediator, right? You are to help the parties identify underlying interests, like you say, because sometimes parties may be so overwhelmed with their situation, they may not be able to see the underlying issues that is their interest. So it's left for you, the mediator, to help them to identify those underlying interests and then generate creative solutions that may help them to consider, by the parties. Do you understand? So it's very, very important that as a mediator, you must play the role of a problem solver, not a problem compounder. Don't compound their problem. Don't bring your personal matter and join into the matter. All right? Don't make the issue so complicated. So you are a guider. You must guide. Your job as a mediator is also to guide the party so that they will not go off point. When they are not, sometimes they may not have the knowledge of what the law says concerning the particular matter you are helping them to resolve. What do? You help them to understand the implication of the matter at stake. Should they fail to reach an agreement on this matter and the matter is taken to court and get to a point of litigation, this is what is involved. These are the punishments that are involved. These are the issues, should in case it does not favor you. Do you understand? So you have to guide them. Let them see what is involved. At every point, if they are stuck, they must break that barrier to go forward in their conversation to make sure that they arrive at a solution. Otherwise, if it is stuck and the matter is taken to court, they themselves are going to suffer. Do you understand? And so let them know the consequences that are involved. And so they should make effort to resolve their problem. Do you understand? So you must guide them and guide them effectively. All right. So those are your roles as a mediator. So as a mediator, you must be a neutral facilitator. You must be a encourager of dialogue. You must be a problem solver. You must guide. Do you understand? You must guide parties in that. Are we making sense? All right. Let's look at the benefits of mediation. What are the benefits of mediation? We have a lot to cover and it's already 8. So let us try and rush and finish the types of mediation or ADR. All right, because we are just on one and we have 3 or 4 of them to discuss. And we are on just one and it's already after 8. So it means that we have already spent time on all the stuff. So let me just try and rush through so that we'll finish. All right. So we have talked about the benefits of mediation already. And we talk about cost effective. We talk about time saving. We talk about confidentiality. We talk about control and empowerment, because the parties in the mediation process, the disputing parties have total control over the process. Do you understand? So they have total control. They are in charge. We empower them to so preservation of relationship. That's another benefit. Flexibility, some of the issues that we have discussed. We have mentioned all those benefits here before, so there's no need to discuss them much. Do you understand? Kingsley, you are saying, sir, in a situation where there is a pretense between the two parties, what next? What next is your duty as a mediator? If you know that the parties are pretending, make them come out of that pretense. And how do you do that? You induce them by your questioning. That's why as a mediator, you must be a good examiner. A good examiner. Your job is to unravel the hidden agendas. So you must unravel them. All right. So that's why you must have also, you must be, careful to understand body language, because when people are pretending, sometimes they may not tell you that we are pretending. No, but by their action, you know that they are pretending. So it's your job to ask thoughtful questions to make them come out of their shade. Do you understand? And tell you what you want to hear. Do you understand? That's what it is. So, thank you. So, challenges of mediation. What are the challenges of mediation? One is power imbalances. Oh my goodness. This is a very interesting topic that we are discussing now when it comes to mediation. Power imbalances. The husband feels that he's the head of the family. So whatever he says is final. That's power imbalance. So the wife has no place. Do you understand? Or maybe you are talking to an educated person and uneducated person. All right? Then the educated person is feeling so superior. Do you understand? And so it's becoming so difficult to engage him. Do you understand? That's it. Then another aspect is that maybe you are talking to someone that is financially stable while you are not way to do. Do you understand? These are power imbalances. So in a situation like this, it is always very, 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 very mediation process becomes so difficult. Except the person that is serving as a mediator, senior them in all the aspects. Well educated, is a wealthy man. Maybe assuming now that maybe, all right, let's take for instance now. I'm trying to give you a best example that will suit this situation I want to discuss with you now. Okay, let's take for instance now. Let's take for instance now. Okay, let's take for instance now. The issue that happened between the governor of Rivers State and the minister of the FCT. All right. So when they went, Wiki and Fobara felt that all of them felt so relevant, and Wiki felt that the position you are, I passed there, and I'm serving as the current minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So you cannot talk to me. I see you in all of this. In fact, I brought you up in politics. I show you some of. I get a point now. I taught you politics. I raised you up, and I made you the governor. So you cannot. So you can see that kind of power imbalance, right? That was the situation. But when all of them went before the Mr. President, Mr. President, you know that the game, it was a different matter. In this case, Mr. President has superior power. It's weightier, had experiences, as our senator, as governor. He's now the president, so all of them cannot pay him anything. Do you understand? So, but although he was not a neutral party, although we knew that Mr. President was not a neutral party, or he came in, but he was not a neutral party. That's why the matter did not favor Fubara, because Mr. President was not a neutral party. Do you understand? But I'm just trying to give you examples of power imbalances. Do you understand? So that you understand it. So, and sometimes this may affect, and that's why we say here that these power imbalances may affect the fairness of the process. It may affect what? The fairness of the process. And of course, you look at the example I'm giving you now, you see that one party was a victim. He was a victim because the solution did not come out so fairly. Because as a serving governor, you have the power, you have nobody should be controlling you. Even if the person helped you, focus on your duty as a minister and allow me to do my own work. But you see, it wasn't so. And of course, he was affected. Do you understand? He was affected. So that is it. So number one problem of mediation is power imbalances. Number two, lack of trust. Number two is what? Lack of trust. Lack of trust. Participants may not trust each other or the mediator, making open communication difficult. All right? The parties may not trust each other, making open communication. I'm doing it in the dark now. No. Let me on Chinese light so that we continue. Otherwise, Nigerian NEPA don't show us shady. All right? So, lack of trust. Participants may not trust each other or the mediator, making open communication very, very difficult. If the parties involved do not trust you as a mediator, just end that thing. Just end the process. Don't get yourself involved in it at all because you will not achieve any good result. The parties involved in the conflict must first and foremost trust you. Do you understand? If you do PIM, they feel that, oh, you are taking side. They will not even cooperate with you again. They will hide whatever information they can hide from you because they cannot trust you. Do you understand? If you make a statement that seems as if you are taking side, that's the end of the situation. All right. So the third challenge is emotional barriers. Strong emotions can impede what? Rational discussion. That's why you must control the impulses. You must help the parties to reduce that tension. Do you understand? When people are so angry, when you are angry, you cannot communicate smoothly. Do you understand? That's what if you are angry, you make statement that when that anger dies and we're telling you, you made this statement, you say no. If they say, some of you start something with your wife, you begin to insult and say all manner of things. When the anger finally dies, your wife is telling you that, honey, do you know that you say this thing to me? You deny, you even swear to God and Almighty that you did not say anything like that. But you said it because you were angry. Do you understand? So emotional barriers can cause you not to communicate smoothly. And so before you know it, you will discover that you'll be saying things that are out of point. You understand? So you're causing parties to focus on grievances rather than solution. So you're angry. So me too, you attack me, I attack you. So before you know it, we forget about the problem we are trying to solve. We are attacking each other. Do you understand? That's it. So resistance to compromise. Resistance to what? Compromise. So parties must work together to compromise. Mr. Tamba is asking a question, asking thoughtful questions. I like the questions you're asking anyway. All right. You're asking that, my question is, who is the one to request the services of a mediator? In case one of the disputants refers you, there is bound to be lack of trust. Of course, but not in all circumstances. All right? Not in all circumstances. Okay, assuming, for instance now, let's take for instance, Queer Eye Fellowship. I don't want to mention the name of the church. All right. That's a good question. But let's take for instance now, Queer Eye Fellowship now, the pastor of the church. I have no personal relationship with him. I have never even had a personal encounter with him. All right. And maybe for instance now I'm having challenges with my wife, and my wife suggests that, and I know that my wife also doesn't have personal relationship with him and all of that. Do you understand? And they have never had such kind of personal interactions. And then my wife suggests that maybe we should see him for an assistance, and we go to, and then maybe I agree that we will see him, because I know that he doesn't have personal relationship with any of us. So I will agree that, okay, let's go and see him. So in this kind of situation, even though my wife make a suggestion, okay, that does not mean that there will be no trust because my wife make that suggestion, because I know way that my wife doesn't have a personal relationship with him and all of that. Do you understand? So, and that is it. And of course, if there's a matter and you decide to, and that's why in mediation we say it's voluntary, because the parties must first and foremost agree on the person they want to go and see. Do you understand? So it's very, very important. All right. So that's the issue. So the issue here is that, except when you notice that this person has a personal relationship with a person, that it will be difficult. Like for instance now, maybe my wife now decide that she want to report me, she want her father to mediate in her matter. No matter how neutral the man is, so no matter what happens, there may be temptation. Do you understand? There may be temptation. Do you understand? So I cannot accept that one. I cannot accept that one. So that is just it. So it depends on the situation. So that will determine the situation. If the wife doesn't know anybody, or maybe they say, okay, let's look for the services of a professional to help us in this situation. Okay, me too, I don't know anybody. Let's just make findings if we can get anyone. Do you understand? So in this kind of situation, then there's no need for any form of accusation. But when you know that someone has a relationship with someone and then they are making reference, oh, let's go and meet him, let him help us solve problem. No. It's a no. You understand? That is just it. Resistance to compromise is what we were talking about before Tamba asked his own question.